Now on CoastTV News.
Wait too long, pay more. Cape May Lewes Ferry prices now increase as capacity fills.
Saying so long to May and hello to June. Will the month start off cooler than average or warmer than average? I'll have details ahead.
Plus, final bell approaches. Last week underway at the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence before closure.
Parking pressures, Lewes reviews proposals ahead of busy season.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us. I'm Grace Ackerley. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Grace. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 6 o'clock hour at the beginning of a brand new month.
Yes. And you know what? It is also the blue moon. I don't know if you noticed it
Also
when you were driving in.
It's also your birthday month.
It is my birthday
We talked
month.
a lot about Matt's birthday month in May, but we're moving on.
You know what? It's really hard because no one can live up to Matt Pensick. You and I both try so hard every single day. And oh gosh, he is just such an unattainable level.
He also loves his birthday.
He's such a birthday guy.
And you know what I just realized? My birthday was April, Matt's was May, you're June. We have to skip July and then Chris is August.
Fun fact, every meteorologist that works at Coast TV, their birthday is in August. Bob, Paul, and Chris. Chris, is it too much to start planning your birthday party now?
Oh gosh. Yes, we're all summer babies. How about that? Yes, probably going to be hot and humid if I had to guess. As we take a look at the observed temperatures over the weekend, we were a little cooler there on Saturday, but boy, we had plenty of sunshine. It was a beautiful weekend. Yesterday morning was quite chilly, though. We began in the 40s, many areas away from the coast. Right now, we have clear skies in Lewes, 59 degrees. Temperatures pretty nice this morning, stepping out the door to 58 in Millsboro, 54 in Harrington, and 57 in Salisbury. You can see that temperature difference over the last 24 hours because we were so chilly yesterday morning. 20 degrees warmer here in Ocean City, and we are about 14 degrees warmer in Cambridge. For the most part, winds are calm across the area. We do have southwest wind flow. That's going to change, though, as we go into the afternoon. We're going to see more of an east-northeast wind kick in thanks to this backdoor cold front that's going to swing through the area, provide us with really no chance of rain. Could see a brief isolated shower across the southern portion of the peninsula, but overall we remain partly cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll talk about 90-degree temperatures returning in that 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. Our top story this morning, new pricing starting today at the Cape May Lewes Ferry. The business is rolling out a new staircase pricing system for vehicle reservations. Under the new model, drivers who book earlier will pay the lowest base fare, but prices will increase as ferry capacity reaches 50, 75, and 90% full. According to the ferry, car fares will also rise seasonably by between $2 and $6. That depends on the time of year. The business confirms that these adjustments are expected to help offset rising operating costs.
Next, one of the biggest changes expands the period when children 6 to 13 can ride for free. Under the updated schedule, children in that age group will travel free from October through May, extending the previous off-season benefit. Leaders with the ferry estimate the revised fare schedule will generate about $1.5 million in additional annual revenue to offset operational costs.
New this morning, today marks the last week of school for students at the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence. That's according to the school's website.
This will be the final last day as base is being forced to close after the Secretary of the Delaware Department of Education revoked the school's charter. The decision came after an extensive review of the school's finances, enrollment, and management.
The head of the school at base called the process and decision frustrating. In a statement from the school, base called decisions troubling because the secretary never visited or had spoken to leadership.
And the final review produced what Secretary Martin called the most efficient possible result.
Base founder and District 20 representative Alana Berry previously told Coast TV she had no material role in the school since 2021.
The school is named after Milton native and civil rights lawyer Brian Stevenson. One mom of a student we spoke with was not surprised with the decision.
It's unfortunate for the students. It's unfortunate there is some really great staff there that have put, their heart and soul into it. And there are students who feel comfortable there when they haven't felt comfortable at other schools.
According to the school's website, the last day at base is on June 5th. The Department of Education says the students can either go back to their home district or choose into a charter school that is accepting applications. There is a grace period for students to allow extra time since this decision was made in March.
This comes after months of review by the Delaware Department of Education, which cited concerns including low enrollment, financial issues, and problems with school operations. Ahead of the decision, the department tasked the school with showing stronger support from families. The Delaware Department of Education said written statements and enrollment commitments were needed to keep the school afloat, and that the school's low response rate to surveys falls short. The department also wanted evidence that past operational and financial issues had been resolved.
Moving along in Lewes, the mayor and city council are looking at recommendations from the Lewes Parking Working Group, who's been meeting for months to draft solutions to ongoing parking issues. The proposals include the creation of 2 parking lots, one at Otis Smith Park and the other at Schley Avenue, according to the totaling 200 additional parking spots.
I feel like it's the most I've ever seen happening. I mean, that people want to take the action. No, I'm feeling like, because people see it. This is the most crowded we've been with residents, all this new construction in town and so forth. But, it's got to be fair for everybody.
The working group says now they want a whole different group, an ad hoc committee, to be formed. And it's that committee that would then create the master plan.
Happening today, updates and discussions in Millsboro regarding affordable housing and taxes. According to the agenda, leaders will discuss an update to Senate Bill 23. The legislation would require counties and municipalities with more than 2,000 people to create affordable housing plans as a part of their comprehensive plan. An ordinance that would create a new lodging tax is also up for discussion, this after a failed vote last year. Millsboro town leaders will gather at 7 o'clock.
Also happening today, the Ocean View Police Department is set to launch 2 new youth programs at Lord Baltimore Elementary School. The programs look to teach and create relationships with students, all while gaining life-saving skills. Today, from 9 a.m. to noon, 5th grade students at the school can participate in CPR and Stop the Bleed training. And on Thursday, from 10 a.m. to noon, students can learn more about police canine operations.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. This morning, we're tracking a wave of legal challenges for President Trump, including new developments around the controversial anti-weaponization fund, while a judge ordered him to remove his name from the Kennedy Center, and several performers backed out of the America 250 celebration.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us how this is all amid new strikes as the war with Iran now rolls into June.
President Trump entering a new month with a series of legal setbacks. A judge halting the administration's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, using taxpayer money to pay back people claiming unfair prosecutions under the Biden administration, potentially including January 6 rioters. Former Vice President Mike Pence weighed in.
It's deeply offensive to me that you could have a fund that could even possibly compensate people who assaulted police officers or vandalized the Capitol on January 6th.
The fund now on pause after a prosecutor on January 6 cases filed suit, while the Justice Department defends its legality. That as another federal judge ordered President Trump's name removed from the Kennedy Center and temporarily blocked it from being shut down for renovations. The president said he would back away and hand the institution over to Congress, while he also suggested canceling the concert at the Great American State Fair after several artists dropped out over concerns the event was too politicized.
Some musicians seem to have segmented their audiences the same way politicians have. But this is Freedom 250, and the celebration of the 250 is a nonpartisan event.
President Trump is now expected to headline the fair while proposing a MAGA rally instead of having, quote, overpriced singers who do nothing but complain. All as he insisted overnight, Iran wants to make a peace deal, slamming his critics and telling them to sit back and relax while it works out.
We're going to make it a great deal, or we'll just go back and finish it off militarily.
Despite the U.S. and Iran again trading new strikes. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Back here at home, new this morning is Salisbury's downtown parking garage will temporarily close starting today for repairs and cleaning. During the closure, drivers are being directed to other city parking lots and on-street spaces. City officials say that parking enforcement will also be relaxed, with tickets limited to major violations like double parking or blocking traffic. That closure is expected to last now through June 15th.
Also new this morning, repairs are likely needed after a tree fell onto a home and a car near Longneck. The Indian River Volunteer Fire Company says it responded to the situation on Saturday a little before 2:30 p.m. It happened on Oak Forest Lane at the former Oak Forest Mobile Home Park. First responders say there were no injuries as a result of that tree falling down.
We're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Coming up after the break, shorebird migration on Delaware's coast, the major role the state plays in this annual process along the peninsula.
Also, a Millsboro downtown makeover, the plans to spruce up the area ahead of the summer season.
But first, integration efforts in Milford. As we look back on American history on Delmarva, we tell you the story of the Milford 11. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.
America 250 on Delmarva, brought to you by County Bank.
In 1954, 11 teenagers, who would later be known as the Milford 11, made history in Delaware by attempting to integrate the all-white Milford High School.
3 months after the landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court, a petition was submitted to the Milford Board of Education requesting integration. On September the 8th, 11 African-American 10th grade students were admitted to the district's high school located at Lakeview Avenue. It led to opposition to desegregation and the closure of the school. The situation escalated when the founder of the National Association for the Advancement of White People, Brian Bowles, rallied thousands of supporters to keep segregation in Milford. There was an attempt to reopen the school later that month. Less than a third of Milford students attended. Other schools in Sussex County closed as a result. Due to concerns for the safety of the Milford 11, they were removed from the school and enrolled in schools in Dover and Georgetown. It would take another 8 years until integration of schools in Milford resumed. A historical marker at the school honors the Milford 11 and their legacy.
It's a complicated world where everything feels louder and faster. The headlines, the noise, the constant change. But here along the water, where the trees bend with the wind and the sun still finds its way through, something calmer endures. Neighbors helping neighbors, local businesses thriving, a community deeply rooted. Even in a complicated world, what matters most hasn't changed. County Bank, 35 years of growing something bigger than ourselves. County Bank, member FDIC.
The time is now 6:17 and we are taking a live look outside at Lewes this morning. Chris, hoping for some sunshine like we had over the weekend. There is sun behind you though. That is a good sign.
Yeah, I have it right behind me. We have the sunshine and looking pretty good out there this morning. Temperatures are pretty nice. Not as chilly as we were yesterday morning where we were in the 40s. Stepping out the door this morning right now, 59 in Laurel, dew point 57. Winds relatively calm across the area. We're at 59 in Milton, 56 Delmar, and we are at 62 in Ocean City. See, the winds are out of the southwest. So we have that milder wind starting off the day today, but that's going to change as we go into the afternoon thanks to a series of weak cold fronts that are going to be pushing to the south as we go through the day today. So we're looking at a partly cloudy, not too bad of a day. Winds will pick up a bit through the afternoon. Can't completely rule out an isolated shower primarily across Maryland and Virginia as we go into the afternoon. And then we keep that sunshine in play through Tuesday. The beat goes on. The severe drought continues. We do need the rain, but it's going to be a very dry week. And in fact, turning hotter by the end of the week. 76 this afternoon in Seaford, 69 Ocean City to 75 in Dover. So there's that shower chance, especially from Salisbury southward. As we go into the afternoon, we're looking at mainly clear skies overnight, chilly, cool, crisp night as we dip back into the lower 50s. There's the wind gusts out of the northeast, gusting 25, 30 miles an hour through the afternoon, and we'll stay on the breezy side as we go into Tuesday. We'll dip to 51 Easton, 52 Cambridge, 55 in Lewis to 52 in Georgetown. Plenty of sunshine for our Tuesday, but again, a little on the cooler side, below that average high of 78. Temperatures generally in the lower 70s away from the beaches, but then the warm up is really on as we go into Wednesday. back up into the lower 80s away from the coast, and then that warming trend is only going to continue as we go into late week. 84 into Thursday, and then by Friday, right around 90 degrees. Now, there's going to be an area of low pressure just off the southeast coast. That system was going to stay well offshore and away from our area as we stay locked and dry through the middle part into the end of the week. There's high pressure that's going to continue sliding just offshore as we go into late week, and that's really going to open the door for that heat as we go really into Friday and Saturday. So a beautiful week ahead, dry week. We go to 84 into Thursday, 90 into Friday, 93 into Saturday, and then we'll see our next chance of rain really not until Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening as a cold front pushes through the area. So today is the beginning of Atlantic hurricane season, and that runs through really November 30th. Sussex County emergency managers are reminding people now is the time to prepare.
Thank you for that reminder, Chris. And the Sussex County Department of Public Safety says even a below normal season can bring serious impacts. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is forecasting between 8 and 14 named storms this year, with up to 6 becoming hurricanes. Emergency managers recommend creating a disaster kit with water, food, medication, flashlights, batteries, and fuel, along with securing outdoor items and planning evacuation routes ahead of time. Millsboro leaders say they're trying to give downtown a little spruce up before the summertime, from cleaning up alleyways to discussions of murals, signs, and the appearances of buildings. Town leaders are looking for ways to brighten up the main street before the summer rush. Coast TV News reporter Nicole Richter takes us through the town's vision for a touch-up.
Driving through downtown Millsboro.
I feel like downtown Millsboro is very quaint.
It's clear the town has character. Now, leaders say they want to add a little more charm to match it. During a downtown committee meeting, leaders tossed around ideas to clean up, dress up, and possibly shake up parts of Main Street. For Jenna LaCruz, owner of Lonnie Lou's Coffee, says the town's character is what makes it special.
I love it. I don't want to change the structure of it. I think it has great bones, and I love the funkiness of it. I just feel like it could use a little lipstick and rouge, you know, just dress it up a little bit, and it's very inviting.
From broken glass in alleys to litter in aging buildings, town leaders say they are looking for ways to give downtown a fresh coat of energy. Leaders say they may look at updating town codes or regulations, taking cues from towns like Berlin and Milford to encourage a more polished look for future development.
It's so diverse here, but I think it being more aesthetically pleasing on the outside is what's going to draw them in, and then once they come in, they'll be sold.
They also discussed new signage, murals, and they say they hope that businesses will reach out for help or assistance with future beautification efforts.
I don't think it's uninviting, you know, it's nice, but yeah, any positive changes would be good changes, especially if that's the goal, to make it look, you know, authentic, if you will.
And while many of the ideas are still in the early stages, leaders say the goal is simple: make downtown Millsboro a place people want to stop, stroll, and stay a while.
In Millsboro, I'm Nicole Richter, Coast TV News.
In your consumer news, gas prices are continuing to fall, but yes, they still remain high. According to AAA, gas prices reached an average of $4.35 a gallon on Saturday. Now that's down 4 cents from Friday and 17 cents from a week ago. However, prices are still up 46% since the start of the war with Iran in late February. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz has led to a disruption in global oil prices since energy facilities had to pause their production. Next, more Walmart customers will now be able to use its fast delivery service. Walmart has announced it's expanding its 30-minute or less delivery to 33 cities. It was previously just serving 7. The retailer says that customers can now shop for more than 100,000 eligible items. That includes groceries as well as your prescription medications. Walmart also says that it plans to expand its services to additional cities later this year. Now stay with us, because coming up next on Coast TV News today, shorebird migration on Delaware's coast. How DenRec tracks the movement on the eastern shore. We'll show you when we come back. Looking on the coast, each spring, thousands of shorebirds stop along the Delaware Bay to rest and refuel during their migration from South America to the Arctic. To track the migration, DenRec crews will conduct aerial surveys during peak shorebird and horseshoe crab season. From the air, the beaches can look dark with thousands of birds gathered together. When the plane passes overhead, the flocks often lift off at once, creating a cloud of birds.
It's just a cloud of birds that all kind of lifts up at once. They see the plane coming, and usually the first beach burst of birds will notice, and they'll start to lift off, and every other bird, notices that maybe there's some kind of threat coming, so they all lift off.
DenRec says it tries to limit disturbances so those shorebirds can conserve energy for their next leg of their journey, and they ask beachgoers to give birds space during this important stop along one of nature's longest migrations.
In Ocean City, the town has released the Beach Heroes cleanup dates for June. Cleanups will take place on June 2nd at the Lazy Lizard lot on 1st Street, on June 9th at the lot of Secrets on 49th Street, as well as on 99th Street in the lot of Knights of Columbus. That's on June 16th. All cleanups will run from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And the 2026 Rehoboth Beach Restaurant Week coming up to support the red, white, and blue on the culinary coast. From June 7th through the 12th, participating restaurants across Rehoboth, Dewey, Bethany Beach, and nearby coastal towns will offer special menus and deals. It's a chance for locals and visitors to try something new, support local spots, and enjoy the beach food scene.
Definitely looking forward to that in Rehoboth as we take a live look into Lewes right now. We have those blue skies. Pretty nice start to our Monday. Right now we're at 59 degrees. Now we're going to see more of an east-northeast wind develop later on in the day. So that's going to keep Ocean City, Fenwick Island in the upper 60s. Can't rule out a stray shower late this afternoon. As we go into Lewes, temperatures right around 70 through noon, and Rehoboth with those winds out of the east-northeast gusting to near 30 miles an hour. We do have a moderate risk of rip currents as we make our way into Cambridge. Partly cloudy skies, a little milder across the midshore with temperatures in the mid-70s. Lisa Welling, Millville, Delaware. Congratulations on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. Your full 7-day forecast coming up in our next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. Looking forward to hearing about that. Now, coming up after the break on Coast TV News today, parking problems progress. How one group is working to alleviate congestion ahead of the busy summer season in Lewes.
And Base says goodbye. Details of what led to the school's impending closure after only 2 years of operation.
Plus, ferry fee changes begin. What you need to know about new pricing at the Cape May Lewes Ferry. Coast TV News Today continues after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
Book early, save more. Ferry fares rise as reservations fill up.
Plus, last bell looms. Base students start final week before closure.
Saying so long to May and hello to June. Will the month start off cooler than average or warmer than average? I'll have details ahead.
Making space, Lewes reviews parking recommendations before summer rush.
This is Coast TV News Today.
Happy Monday. I'm Grace Eckerly. Happy Monday, Elisa.
Happy Monday, Grace. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us. Like we mentioned, it is Monday, but it is also June 1st, start of a new week, start of a new month.
Exactly. There's something that's kind of very satisfying when a new month starts on a new week. It's like, let's do it. Let's do everything we need to do.
It does feel like a clean slate.
A clean slate's a great way to start. And plus, there's this whole blue moon situation going on right now.
Yeah, I didn't know about this. You mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see it on our way into work. Elisa and I get into work pretty early in the morning.
Just
when the light's still dark out. Anyways, it was gorgeous and it was bright. If you happen to have a few extra moments in your morning, go ahead, look it up on social media. Many people posting about it today. Apparently, it is a moon of new opportunities, which I love at the start of a new month, at the start of a new week. So maybe take something in your family or your workload or something new and use it as an opportunity to have a great month of June.
I didn't know about this. So you know what, Chris? Let's also have a beautiful weather day as well.
I'll see what I can do, but we're heading in the right direction there, Elisa and Grace. Good morning as we take a live look into Laurel. Beautiful sunrise here. Temperatures quite mild to start this morning. We're at 59 in Laurel. Winds are pretty calm. 57 in Georgetown and Salisbury. 62 in Rehoboth, as well as in Ocean City. Now we have southwest wind flow this morning. That will be changing though as we push into the afternoon. Backdoor cold front's going to be sinking southward and shift our wind direction more out of the east-northeast. So that's going to bring in some breezy conditions, especially at the beaches as we go through the day today. So temperatures are going to be rising generally in the 70s through the day today under partly cloudy skies. Can't completely rule out an isolated shower, especially across Maryland and Virginia. Right around 70 along the coast, a little milder along the mid-shore. We'll talk about even warmer temperatures, though, in that extended forecast a little later on.
Thank you, Chris. That brings us to our top story this morning as a new pricing is starting today. The Cape May Lewes Ferry seems like nice weather for a ride across the bay, as the business is now rolling out a new staircase pricing system for vehicle reservations. Under the new model, drivers who book earlier will pay the lowest base fare, but prices will increase as ferry capacity reaches 50, 75, and 90% full. According to the ferry, car fares will also rise seasonably by between $2 and $6, depending on the time of year. The business confirms that these adjustments are expected to help offset rising operating costs.
New this morning, today marks the last week of school for students at the Brian Allen Stevenson School of Excellence. That's according to the school's website.
This will also be the final last day as base is being forced to close after the Secretary of Delaware Department of Education revoked the school's charter. The decision came after an extensive review of the school's finances, enrollment, and management. The head of the school at base called the process and decision frustrating. In a statement from the school, base called the decision troubling because the secretary had never visited or had spoken to leadership.
The final review produced what Secretary Martin called the most efficient possible result.
Base founder and District 20 Representative Alana Berry previously told CoastTV she had no material role in the school since 2021.
The school is named after Milton native and civil rights lawyer Brian Stevenson. It has only been open for 2 years.
The Lewes Mayor and City Council are looking at recommendations from the Lewes Parking Working Group. That group has been meeting for months to draft solutions.
As the city tries to make everyone happy, from businesses and employees to visitors and those who call Lewes home. CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us what's in store.
The Lewes Parking Working Group presenting a pilot parking program. The group formally submitted the plan to Mayor and City Council with, in their words, the hope that swift and meaningful action will be taken. Now they want a whole different group, an ad hoc committee to be formed, and it's that committee that would create the master plan. Just the latest step to try and solve a problem downtown business owner Mishko Seto says is urgent.
We just need to start taking action because so many of these ideas have been regurgitated over the years and nothing ever gets done.
One proposal discussed again today was the idea of paving this gravel lot here at Otis Smith Park to add about 60 parking spaces. Now this park is just over the bridge on Savannah Road, and one thing mentioned was the ideal location because it's right between the beaches and downtown. The other proposed lot is here at Schley Avenue that would add about 140 spaces. The group originally said these lots would be designated as employee lots, but today the group's saying these spaces would really be for anyone.
I feel like it's the most I've ever seen happening. I mean, that people want to take the action. No, I'm feeling like, because people see it. This is the most crowded we've been with residents, all this new construction in town and so forth. But, it's got to be fair for everybody.
Another idea in the proposed program, designated residential parking zones on Mulberry, Market, and Chestnut Streets between 3rd and 4th Streets. People at the meeting had opinions about who should be on this ad hoc committee.
I think as a resident and a business owner, I want that committee to have as broad a perspective as possible.
For now, the crowds keep showing up, the parking problems persist, and the answers are tied up in committees while drivers just want somewhere to leave their cars so they can enjoy everything Lewes has to offer. In Lewes, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Lewes city leaders said that they do have almost $500,000 set aside for tackling parking issues like this. The mayor said that she hopes council will make a decision on the 2 proposed parking lots in June.
Happening today, the deadline for candidates in Rehoboth Beach to file to run for the city's 2026 municipal election. According to the State Department of Elections, documents must be submitted to the city manager's office by 4:30. Voters will choose a mayor and 2 city commissioners. During the election on August 8th, each position carries a 3-year term.
Happening today, updates and discussion in Millsboro regarding affordable housing and taxes. According to the agenda, leaders will discuss and update Senate Bill 223. The legislation would then require counties and municipalities with more than 2,000 people to create affordable housing plans as part of their comprehensive plans. An ordinance that would create a new lodging tax is up for discussion. This after a failed vote last year. Millsboro town leaders will gather at 7 o'clock.
Also happening today, the Ocean View Police Department is set to launch 2 new youth programs at Lord Baltimore Elementary School. The programs look to teach and create relationships with students, all while gaining life-saving skills. Today from 9 a.m. to noon, 5th grade students at the school can participate in CPR and stop the bleed training. And on Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon, students can learn more about police canine operations.
This just in, people are continuing to protest near Delaney Hall. That's an ICE facility in New Jersey where inhumane conditions have been alleged for months. The Department of Homeland Security has pushed back against those allegations to reduce tensions. Officials said that state police will then take over public safety operations from ICE agents outside Delaney Hall. Governor Mikey Sherrill said that there would be a peaceful, protected protest zone that's just outside the facility. But after more clashes between protesters and police on Saturday night, a nightly curfew was enacted.
Last night, we saw masked individuals attack the barrier, taking aggressive, dangerous actions against Newark and New Jersey State Police.
While agreeing with demonstrators that conditions inside Delaney Hall have to improve, officials also emphasized the need to protest peacefully in order to ensure everyone's safety.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, hours-long blaze battle. Details of this fire over the weekend in Ocean City.
And firefighters focus on training the benefits of a day of instruction for the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Well, tonight is not only the beginning of a new week and a new month, but it's the start of Atlantic hurricane season, which runs through November 30th. Now, we do have El Nino kicking in throughout hurricane season, so how that will play a role in the season remains to be seen. That oftentimes leads to strong wind shear across the Caribbean, which in then turn will negate really any tropical storms from developing. Now, we do have the forecast from NOAA, which leads to 3 to 6 hurricanes, 1 to 3 majors. Best to be prepared because it only takes one storm. The peak of hurricane season runs right through September, from late August through early October. And here's a list of the Atlantic hurricane names, beginning with Arthur. You have Gonzalo, Josephine, you have Hannah, Leah, as well as Vicky. We'll have your full forecast here in just a few minutes.
Well, there's Dolly listed on there. They could just say Dolly Parton's a hurricane. Who doesn't love her? Now, looking across Delmarva, members of the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company took a trip to the Delaware State Fire School. That campus is over in Dover. This was over the weekend to participate in some tower training. Fire officials say that practice at fire school gave firefighters a chance to get classroom instruction as well as hands-on practice. Now, according to the fire company, not only does this help firefighters meet national standards, it helps them to prepare to serve within the Delaware State Fire Service.
What you're seeing now are pictures from a house fire in Ocean View Saturday afternoon. Firefighters with the Roxana Volunteer Fire Company say they were called to a home on Lathbury Court. After over 2-hour fight, the fire company says they were able to put that fire out. The cause of the fire and injuries were not reported.
On your screen now is the Long Neck Apartments area in Millsboro. This is where the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company says that they responded to a small fire outside in a garden on Saturday afternoon. Firefighters say that a patch of mulch at the garden bed caught fire. The fire company is now reminding people that organic mulches such as wood and pine, they can catch fire easily, especially during dry heat. And they're reminding people to garden accordingly.
Coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 4 o'clock, Indian River hosts Smyrna in playoff baseball. At 8 o'clock, it's a new episode of Into the Trenches. Then you can catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch the playoff baseball game we just mentioned, along with this DSN Plus exclusive at 6:30, Worcester County Men's Softball League.
Backroom is the #1 movie in North America after a big debut weekend. Rich Damangella tells us that story and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
Backrooms debuted to more than $81 million in its opening weekend. Its 20-year-old director Kane Parsons is now the youngest filmmaker to reach #1 at the domestic box office. Prior to the film's opening, he indicated the story goes beyond the film.
Narratively, an outline exists and has existed since 2022, and I would say everything that's happened thus far has all been in accordance with that outline. So it's, I can't speak to exactly what's going to happen in the future, but narratively, there's a thing to unfold there.
Halt! Who goes there?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I come in peace.
More box office news as Deadline reports Toy Story could clean up. Deadline predicts Toy Story 5 could open to $150 million at the North American box office. If it happens, it could mark a new franchise record.
Anything you can dream about, you can create.
A Minecraft movie's new name. Warner Brothers has announced the sequel to the 2025 game-to-movie adaptation will be called A Minecraft Movie Squared. It's scheduled to hit theaters July of 2027. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damangella.
If you're having a rough week, cheer up with a wheelie dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday, or take a look at your screen and get your daily dose of Chris on this Monday morning. What could be better?
Yeah, we're trying to keep that sunshine going from the weekend race, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine this morning. 60 degrees, and then a mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon. A little bit of a breeze kicking in off the Atlantic with temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll talk about hot temperatures returning in that 7-day forecast.
6:49 a.m. on this Monday morning as we're taking a live look out into Laurel. Now, Chris, this time last week for 3 days in a row, we were checking in on our Laurel cam. It was straight fog, just a blank slate of gray. It looked like a paint sample or something. And now we get to see the beautiful sunrise in this first day of June.
Yeah, we had that never-ending stretch of unsettled weather, right? But we are seeing bright blue skies this morning as we take a live look into Ocean View. Pretty nice morning out there, 62 degrees, dew point 56, and we have that wind very light out of the southwest. We're holding at 60 in Milton, 57 in Georgetown, as well as in Salisbury under mostly clear skies. We have that winds out of the southwest. Now, we're going to see some changes as we go through the afternoon as far as our wind is concerned. We have that milder wind at the moment, but a backdoor cold front's going to be pushing through, so then we're going to see more of an onshore wind, so that will cool things down over the next 24 hours. As we put a bow tie on the month of May, we had that hot stretch from the 17th through the 20th, where we hit 96. That was actually our hottest temperature of the month. Coolest temperature was 43, but the story continues to be the lack of rainfall. We were over, 2 inches shy of where we should have been for the month. Now, as we look ahead to June, above normal temperatures expected for much of the mid-Atlantic with near normal chances to see any type of precipitation. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon today with that weak front pushing through. Can't rely on an isolated shower across the southern portion of the peninsula. 76 Georgetown, 79 into Easton. That's going to be our sector where we do see some warmer temperatures. There's that isolated shower chance as we go to about 2 o'clock, especially south of Salisbury through Chrisfield and portions of Virginia. But we are looking at mainly clear skies overnight. There's that shift in wind direction out of the northeast with some gusts 25 to 30, and we'll maintain that northeast wind flow as we go into Tuesday. Dip to 52 in Georgetown and Milford, 54 Ocean City to 53 in Chrisfield. Plenty of sunshine for our Tuesday. Below average, but still a pretty nice day with that northeast wind. And then the warmth kicks in as more southerly winds kick in for Wednesday. Temperatures are going to be rising back to the 80s Wednesday and Thursday. 90 by your Friday. Now, an area of low pressure that we've been tracking is going to develop off the southeast coast about Wednesday. That's going to stay well off to our southeast. High pressure is going to be the ruler as we go through the late part of the week and then slide offshore as we go into Friday, and that's going to open up the door for the 90s to return. 93 into Saturday, and then we're looking at a chance of showers and storms with a cold front Sunday afternoon into the evening.
Thank you, Chris. Looking forward to tracking those storms later through the week. Now, some things to know. The Brandywine Valley SPCA is bringing back its summer mega adoption with over 1,000 cats and dogs. The events will take place on both June 20th and June 21st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Those will be at the Bob Carpenter Center at the University of Delaware in Newark. Plenty of time to get everything in order if you want to bring home a furry friend. And the nonprofit says that all those pets that will be available at that two-day event will be spayed or neutered, microchipped, and up to date on their vaccinations. Hopefully many of those pets find a loving home at the event. And speaking of pets, it's 6:53 a.m. so we're checking in with our coastal pet of the day, Elisa.
And today's coastal pet of the day is a lazy cat. On your screen right now is Clementine. As you can see, Clementine loves to lounge around. Clementine was submitted to us by David in Lewis. I love the name.
Elisa,
Adorable.
my family had a cat named Clementine. He looked just, of course, he was orange with those beautiful eyes, and he lived until he was 20 years old.
Wow.
He would like steal food off of our plates, like drag like full pieces of like
It's the
chicken
secret to
tenders.
his long life.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
He was having an all-protein diet. We want to see more of your pets across Delmarva. You can send us a photo just like David did of his friend Clementine here. You can tell us what makes them so special. Maybe they also like lounging around your house. You can do so if you take a look at your screen now.
You can scan the QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friend to Coast TV News, and of course watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature.
Well, we have our running forecast, and temperatures are going to be ideal for running this morning. Plenty of sunshine out there. We have the green light and could see a brief isolated shower, especially south of Salisbury as we go into the afternoon. But everyone is not going to see the rain. Partly cloudy skies. Your 10-day forecast a little cooler into Tuesday, and then look at that warm up into late week temperatures, getting back into the lower 90s.
The 90s?
We might have to go to the beach this weekend.
Elisa, don't mind if I do.
Me too.
Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing that with our new beach forecast. And thank you
Yes.
for joining us for Coast TV News today.
The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great morning.